I like how the monkeys in the evidence said the profiles.
He is but a
A
beast,
monk.
not a person.
We should count the puppet in the beast section then.
Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Coco and Stan are here, and we are continuing Ace Attorney: Justice for All.
Can't wait for bird murder. That means murder by birds, not two birds, by the way. You're a criminal if you murder birds. How dare you?
How dare you?
But birds murdering people, that's good stuff. That's good entertainment.
In fact, they have made a movie of it, which I've never seen. I just
Actually,
know.
I haven't seen it either.
I just know one thing that, like, my friend once talked about how irritated she was by the ending, since apparently, like, the protagonist just drive away, and I'm like, that's genius. That's what every person in a horror movie should do. Just leave.
Birds following you, just drive away. Zombies, just drive away. Silent Hill would be much shorter if they just got in the car and drove away. Order, order. What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm gonna have to prove how it all fits together. Why do I say things and then have to prove them? Can't I just say things and have people to believe them? What is this society?
It just demands too much of you, Phoenix.
It's just too much. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I don't think you can.
Oh.
I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do this.
Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingaling? Yes, I'm going to say it like that every single time now. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room? Pretty simple, eh? Acro won't be able to leave the lodging house by himself. Yeah, because you put him on the 3rd floor with no elevator problem. There's only one answer to that. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster.
What? Are you nuts?
Maybe. What say you, Mr. Ding Dong?
It's an interesting theory.
That's it?
Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You got a point.
It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime.
That's true. Mo said he saw Max, didn't he? But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly.
Almost as impossible as it is for people to channel the dead.
Or see psychic locks.
Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright?
What is it?
I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume.
How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick, if you mess up here. She's right. I can't mess up here. I gotta give this one some serious thought. Oh man, that's hard. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he killed the ringmaster while he was in his room. No doubt about it. Time to enlighten us on how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? What's that? Picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-sized, it is also very, very heavy.
Heavy?
Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Just whips herself. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. It is very ample.
Yeah, they just had to use that word.
Yeah, fine. Order. So you're saying the bust fell into the ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit.
How could you possibly feel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible.
Well, Acro's an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well,
Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. Ah!
what would I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Bright?
What?
Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say? Judging, you say?
What are these things?
Where am I?
Who am I?
Who's that cute girl over there? Will she marry me?
Whoosh!
Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a rose to sell for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony.
The defense has its version of the matter. The prosecution has the right to respond.
I mean, she's not wrong. That's how court works. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way for once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you.
Ugh, that woman will sink to any low to win a case.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would have been unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
I have no doubts in regard to this witness testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and carry it over to the window. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Miss Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination.
He is simply stalling. It's shameful, really.
I can't let her get to me. I gotta focus.
I suppose I could have listed something the size of that bust.
Have you ever lifted up the bust before?
No, I've never actually lifted it up on my own two hands. With my own two hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this.
Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling.
I have a
That was a really stupid slip.
I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured.
So what have you been doing to keep in shape?
Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope.
You don't say.
But, no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything.
Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Bright.
I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean Nick. Whoa, whoa, whoa! How did this discussion turn to me all of a sudden?
Correct. I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible.
And why is that?
Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet.
So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window?
There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body.
How long do you think your recovery will take?
You have to remember that the nerves were severed. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation. But it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head.
Why do you say it would be impossible?
Allow me to explain. You accepted after I was carrying the bus I wouldn't be able to see out below the window. Thus, there's no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head.
Well, I suppose you got a point. Hey, Nick? Aw. What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bus. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down.
I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bus on him, don't you think?
If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way that I could score a direct hit on the ringmaster's head.
So that kinda makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Acro's strong enough to lift up the bust. The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head. I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster? That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you got. I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. But maybe we overlooked something. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out the window, did you?
What are you driving at, Mr. Wright?
You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add.
Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Bright. Enough stalling! How about you show us some evidence?
But I did such a good job hinting. You're ruining all the dramatic build-up. God. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Who?
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene crime.
At the scene
At the-
crime. Whoops.
Is that a typo?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It should be switched around.
Scene crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear.
You mean...
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim.
Really?
Order, order, order. This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down.
Allow me to whip you into shape, Mr. Phoenix Wright!
Ow! Mm.
The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box.
That's why the box was so specially made.
Specially made.
Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The box had a remarkable weight.
Wait.
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box was also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct.
Good job.
Lift up. Good job, Phoenix. To lift up the box, you have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place.
Fool.
Does she even bother to listen to me anymore? No.
I've heard what you had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
Did you drop it? Did you drop the bust onto the ringmaster?
What are you talking about? Even if I had wanted to do such a thing, I couldn't.
What?
Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of this bust?
Of course I remember. It's on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
Ah, that means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright explained that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice.
Ugh.
Tell us exactly how the witness could have carried the bust from the cafeteria.
Yep. We definitely do have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. Gotta get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? I like how the monkeys in the evidence instead of profiles.
He is but a beast,
monk.
not a person.
We should count the puppet in the beast section then.
Yes.
A monkey. Everyone knows money is of shiny objects of any size. For instance, he stole the... God, I'd never want to encounter this word again.
Aw.
Ventriloquist ring.
You got it.
Yay! Got it.
See, how you're saying the witness had a monkey steal the best.
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home. Home. Money lives in Acro's room. For some reason. Acro's room?
I mean, I'd personally be creeped out by having to share a room with a monkey that's apparently big and strong enough to carry a giant life-size bust.
Yeah, that's a bit...
Just imagine, like, you're trying to go to sleep and he's there in the corner staring at you.
I don't want to imagine that, Coco.
I'm sorry.
I don't... What did this monkey do to be so strong, first of all? I mean, we can only imagine the implications for why those arms are so strong.
I mean, the thing that bugs me is because, like, it looks like it's an... I don't know, it kind of looks like it's an orangutan, but they keep saying monkey. And monkeys tend to be smaller. Like, if it was a gorilla or something, then yeah, because those guys are strong as heck, but... I guess
Maybe it's a mistranslation.
Maybe. That could be it. Maybe there are plenty of monkeys that are strong too, but it's just like,
It's kind of weird.
It's weird.
Like, it doesn't look that strong in the picture.
Doesn't look like it'd be big, yeah.
Either way, it should not be in a person's room, probably with them living.
No.
You know.
So not only do they keep him on the 3rd floor, they saddle him with this monkey. Poor Acro.
How did they stop the monkey from stealing the wheelchair? That's shiny.
Aw, that's awful.
No, think about it.
It just steals his wheelchair constantly. Aw.
No. Why did you give that to him? Poor Acro.
Poor Acro.
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record.
Whoopsh!
Maybe you should learn how to fucking read, Ron Karma.
Whoosh!
My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room.
If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate.
What does that mean, Acro?
I don't know.
What does that mean? Order. I said order. Miss Von Karma. Where is the bus in question at the moment?
I don't know. We are searching for it as we speak.
This is a train's turn of event.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.
Laters.
Ugh.
It's just thunder, Machida.
Thunder can be scary.
I gotta say, that was a pretty impressive reaction.
The art is different than the PSP version.
Yeah, I'm not digging it, to be honest.
Shit, same. I don't like the eyes. Come on! Stop laughing! Most amusing. The hell is that?
That was the sound of a little girl laughing.
Okay. It was just bad timing, that's all.
You're right, it is Shades of a Z, yeah.
Doesn't have to have a Z. I came up with the name when I was in high school. Shut up.
Alright, I lowered him a little bit. Let's put you to 100. Alright.
You always have the best reactions. I just love telling stories to you, Machida. It's so rewarding.
I'm getting so caught off by the voice acting. Ever heard of a class representative with such a sadistic streak?
Shizune?
If I remember correctly, one of the girls is gay.
In this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, are we talking Karawa Shogo?
No, I think I remember. We learn it later, I think. I'm spoiling.
Whoever heard of a boy who can hit a note like that when he screams?
Have you ever heard of Freddie Mercury? Eek, save me! The bad boy.
Yeah, you can tell by his eyebrows.
And